It's me, just being me, teaching you about hydroelectricity. So please don't sing along to this very, very annoying song. So, hydroelectricity, where does it come from? The source, you know, well, it's water. Hydro is basically water, so from water. And basically what the water does is there's a generator and it spins the turbines, which powers the electric generator, which creates electricity. Yay! Electricity. We all need it to survive. Well, we don't, because cavemen survived without it. So, but current day and age, we need it. Now, what is hydroelectricity or hydropower used for? Well, most of the time it's used to basically provide electricity to specific industries or public enterprises, things like that. But it can also be a tourist attraction. It's used as a water sport facility and also to control floods. Yay! When did it become important? Well, it became important sometime around the Industrial Revolution. And in case you don't know where that took place over in the UK. Who discovered it and what was it used for? Well, Greece, China, and Egypt were among the first to harness hydroelectricity's power, and it was used to grind flour. So, that rhymes. Now, where is it accessible? Well, most of the time you find it in places that obviously have a river and also that are kind of mountainous, which means they're kind of hilly or have mountains, because the water flow is greater, so more power. Leading producers, leading consumers, and what is it measured in? Well, it is measured in watts, and then the leading consumers are Brazil, Argentina, and Norway, and the leading producers are China, Canada, and this place I can't really pronounce is like Perugia. I'm not pronouncing that right. It's, I don't know. I'll put the word below. So, yeah, because I really cannot pronounce it. With basically anything, there are pros and cons, or benefits and drawbacks. Some of the benefits is that it's a renewable resource, which means you can reuse it over and over again, just like sunlight. Yes, sunlight. So, that's good. Some other benefits is that once a hydropower plant is made or built, it can serve 50 to 100 years after it is built. Also, the electricity it can produce can be ramped up or down to adapt to whatever changes need to be made. So if a place needs more electricity, more electricity, zazam! There you go. Now that the benefits are done with, we have to talk about the drawbacks. No one likes the bad side of things. We all want the good side. Some people may want the bad. I really don't know. So some of the drawbacks are that it costs a lot of money to build one of these hydropower plants. It costs billions of dollars. It's just so expensive. Oh my gosh, way too much money. Another one is that they have to have a minimum amount of water to basically run to produce the amount of electricity needed at all for anything. There is no way for basically water to become any type of really fossil fuel, because think about it, other types of fuel can be like turned into gasoline or some other element thing, I don't know, that helps power our cars and things like that. Of course, you know, electricity also can power cars, but Now, how does it impact the economy? Well, it helps the economy because A, it provides jobs because they have to build one of the hydropower plants, and to build it they need workers. Number 2, since water is basically a renewable resource, it won't ever really die out. So you don't have to basically pay for the water. I mean, I guess we kind of do in a way, but we really don't because it's free. It's right there. It's right there in front of us, basically. And then last but not least, it makes electricity cheaper. Or sometimes it can. You never really know. It just depends. Now tell me, how does it affect the environment? I'll tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now how it affects the environment. It's been called the largest man-made disaster, basically, so you know it can't be good. One way is that it produces methane. And in case you don't know what that is, if you guys do believe in global warming, it's part of the cause of global warming. And basically, it's what decaying organisms produce. They produce methane, which goes up into the sky and causes your may or may not believe global warming. And so, of course, when they build the power plant places, their organisms and such as trees, plants, animals may be buried under the water, maybe in the process. Who knows? And I see since they're covered up, they're decaying underneath the water, which then the methane still goes up into the atmosphere and global warming. Another way is failures or breaks, because maybe a dam, such as the Hoover Dam, just an example, if they built it wrong or something, then possibly it could break, or it could also break by natural disaster, and that causes gallons and gallons of water to flood all these cities and towns and wipe out people and cause diseases. It's just horrible, bad. So, and the last way is it harms fish. Yes, little fishies swimming in the ocean, like Nemo and Dory, they're fish. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming. Well, for these fish, they can't just keep swimming. Why? Because for fish that migrate, such as salmon, they can't really migrate because there's a barrier in their way. They can't continue on their journey. They can only go a certain way. One way. Yeah, that. And the other way is that since they're building these, they create reservoirs. And reservoirs, the water tends to be warmer and calmer. And maybe the fish aren't used to that, so they have to try to adapt, and they might die in the process because they can't adapt. Now it's time for fun facts. I mean, who doesn't love fun facts? I mean, really. Now, heavy rainfall can, in fact, help hydroelectricity power plants because the heavy rainfall makes usually the current faster, and they can produce up to 20% more electricity. Pretty impressive, am I? Oh, right? In 2007, Washington State, not Washington D.C., was number 1 in the USA for hydroelectricity production. Each year, an average of 60 hydroelectricity power plants fail in China. So basically they have a bunch of hydroelectricity plants and they're all failing. Now, we're heading over to Egypt for this fun fact. Why? Because hydroelectric dams along the Nile River are reducing the amount of silt in low-lying areas. Now, oceans may be the future for hydroelectricity. Why? Because they have waves, tides, and currents. Now, push aside tides and waves because we're focusing on currents. They are more reliable because they only flow in one direction. I might have saved the best for last, but you can be the judge of that. Bye.